Hey everybody, and welcome to rabb1t's Ramblings, podcast 415. I don't have anything new to talk about this time really. There is just an update to Enshrouded, which I guess I haven't played in almost a year. I think it said the last time I played was January, so that was quite a while ago. But that's really all I have to talk about this time. Hopefully, you'll enjoy the show. As I said in the intro, the only thing really new for me is some content for Enshrouded, which is still in early access. I don't know if they have an actual launch date picked yet. They did just put in a bunch of new content, which is the biggest new zone they've added yet. They have previously added another zone, and I guess they added at least one new weapon type and did some very tiny reworks on the perk tree. I think about 4 perks that I know of are now completely gone, and they added a new one which allows you to use your grappling hook to pull yourself to big enemies or to pull flying creatures down towards you, which is not as much change as I would have hoped for the talent system. I was kind of holding off and not checking out the game for the changes until there was a big rework on that or a big change with the items, but I jumped in this time because a YouTuber did say there were big changes, but I guess there's not, at least not so far. I'm working my way through the swamp zone to check it out. It looks pretty cool and interesting. I did peek at the daggers, which are the new weapon I've seen so far, which seem okay, but they don't scale off of strength, which is what I tend to build into, so I think they are not for me. I will see what they seem like when I get some higher level ones, because the swamp area is only level 15 and my character was max, so I'm now level 26, so I am quite a bit higher level than the rest of the area. And then I guess after that is the snowy area, but they have added in a new weather system, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see the rain, and that's kind of all I've seen so far, except for pretty extreme fog, which both can cut down your visibility quite a bit, which makes things pretty cool. And then there's minor details, which are very important, like if you have a torch out and it's night and you're trying to use your torch to see, but it's raining, the rain will put the torch out, so you have to keep pulling it out and in, and even then, that doesn't work great. So that is a really cool touch. I like that quite a bit. And the torches you can see, like on the street and such, are flickering quite a bit because of the rain, so that is all a very cool atmospheric change. But that's really all I have to talk about this time. There's not really any other news other than I've stopped playing the new free-to-play games that came out. I stopped playing First Descendant because it just got really grindy, and I was like, why am I doing this? I already have stuff that works. Why am I grinding for other stuff when it doesn't seem like they're going to add anything new or interesting that I'm interested in? So I just pretty much stopped playing. I may go back someday. It's free, so it's not like it costs anything to go back. I played Once Human, I don't know, for maybe 20 total hours between the 2 seasons I peaked at. I've pretty much lost complete interest at this point as well. This is a quote-unquote longer season at 2 months, but I don't know, since I play it casually, it's like, do I really want to go through all of this rebuilding and regathering and recrafting all this stuff just to get back where I was and spend 2 or 3 of the weeks to get there out of a 2-month season? That's like, it doesn't seem worth it. So as much as I am sometimes finding their quests interesting because they're kind of cool in a secret world kind of way, which nobody's done since Secret World, which feels like forever ago now, the combat just is not worth it. The combat is pretty much total garbage. And so combining that to needing to refarm everything each season, I'll just pass. And then I don't think I talked about it yet, but I did peek at Throne and Liberty, probably for only about 8 or 9 hours. Oh, wait, I did talk about it before. I think I mentioned that I quit because it got to the point where I just couldn't target anything because it's the old tab target system, and so my target was going everywhere I didn't want it to go. So that very rapidly lost my interest as well. I don't know what I'll talk about next time. Witchfire is very awesome. I have gotten pretty deep into that. I've slowed down quite a bit because it gets a little bit glitchy. The frame rates kind of have hitching is the common term, but I did love what I saw of it. I did turn up the difficulty 1 notch because it's kind of designed that you do that a couple of times to progress through the game. And when I did, it got really crazy, and there were a bunch of new enemies I hadn't seen before and some new weapons, and it got really deep and really cool. It's still, I think, pretty early access, so I'm not, too rushed to get through it. But what I did play, I loved quite a bit. I do recommend Witchfire quite a bit if you're into that kind of shooter game. I think No Rest for the Wicked is working on a very big patch coming out soonish. I don't know an exact date for that. I don't know quite what they're adding. Again, that's something I'm kind of waiting for new systems for. It's been in early access for a while as well. It's probably one of my favorite games. I played, I think, like 250 hours of something that only has about a dozen hours of actual content before you're kind of repeating it and going through. But it is really cool. I loved it quite a bit. So at this point, I'm waiting for more weapon types because they have different stats they're built on. So seeing what kind of stuff comes out of that and what kind of new powers they get built on what kind of stats. And then, of course, they said they're going to add a talent system at some point. So that would be really cool. So any of those things, as soon as they get put in, I'll probably get sucked right back into that. But I don't know what else to talk about. I don't know what else is coming down the road. I think there will probably be another podcast before Turkey weekend, or it will be on Turkey weekend. I'm not sure. But I don't know what I'll talk about. But hopefully I'll see everybody then. Okay, thanks. Bye. You have been listening to Rabbit's Ramblings. If you would like to see the show notes or feed the bunny by sending a donation, you can find the show website at www.rabbit.com/podcast/rabbitsramblings.html. When you type Rabbit's Ramblings, don't use a space. If you would like to send me an email, you can do so at rabbit@rabbit.com. If you like my page, you can also post on Facebook at rabbit.com. You can follow me on YouTube at rabbit.com. I have a page on Patreon at www.patreon.com/rabbit, RABB1T. You can set up a monthly recurring subscription there at a price point of your choice. Be sure to put the number 1 in place of I anytime you type rabbit. Rabbit's Ramblings is copyright Eric Stryker, using a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Derivatives License, 2024.